Let me redo this. So there I was in the morning enjoying my cup of instant coffee, Nescafe Classical, and I have to say, I had the stuff, I think it was called uh, Nescafe Brazil. That actually tasted like real coffee. But down here, and I've had this bow. This is really cool. It's a 53 inch. I only made two of them. The other one wound up in Manitoba for a daughter's birthday present in the middle of winter, and it was 50 degrees below zero. I was complaining, gosh, it's 20 below zero here, and she was like, try 50. And she had to walk to her barn. But anyway, only made two of these. 53 inch paddle bow, kind of taken off my 66 inch one that I've sold tons of them, you know, the rawhide and the painting and stuff like that. But I'm just dreaming about this 53 incher sinew backed, you know, and now the heat hardening thing, this would make a really competent little bow. And I love the lines of it. Let me stand back here. You know, you could take a bow, crank it out, make it. Need to tweak it here, I need to tweak it here. You know, maybe change, straighten this, what have you, but this has been a right, and I say right, that I like the lines. Bow staring at me that's been hanging on the wall strong for 15 years, 20 years, a long time, long darn time. Say, I've always liked the lines. I like the tips, like the width. It's about 2¼ inches wide. The handle's nice. Yeah. I think I might make a few of these things. Sinew back them. I would never sinew back my 66 incher. It's just, you know, it's just a ton of sinew. I've tried it before, and there's no benefit. A 66 inch bow, if it's well constructed, in paddle bow, now I'm not saying long bow, narrow bow, but these wide bows, it's just a waste of sinew. It really is. Honestly, it's a waste of sinew because it's a heavy material. You're using tons of it. A 66 inch bow should be able to draw 28 inches. Even my red oak paddle bows can go up to 60 pounds, you know, rawhide back, no issue. But you take these, a 53 inch bow, and you want to get a long draw out of it, there's not as much mass here. When you start getting down to the end, you know, it's narrow right here, so really the bulk of the sinew is over like 20 inches, just over a course of 20 inches. Heck yeah. Picture this thing with just a minor recurve here. So yes, I have just rediscovered a really pleasant bow design. And let's face it, 53 inches is a decent brush bow. It is a decent brush bow. And within the realm, lengthwise, of native bows. Of course, you know, Cherokee longbows are pretty long. Bows in the Southwest, some of them were pretty long. But the Eastern, most of them, plains bows and all this stuff, blah, 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 were pretty short. Yeah. Anyway, I better get ready to engage in the vegetable wars. Oh, there it is. Template for my, I originally called it an ELB, an English longbow, but you know, I'll concede on that one with the English Longbow Society people, which I've had routes with over and over and over again for years. I call it a Renaissance bow. I actually wholesaled those out to a fellow that sold him 10, 15 bows at a time a while ago. And he would go to Renaissance fairs and sell them. And it's a beautiful shooting bow, especially in ash. If I can locate ash, you know, which is becoming extinct because of the emerald ash borer, you know, it's actually a very competent bow. But yeah, simple to make. Can make them quickly. In that period, I actually had an employee that was making the bowstrings for me. Yep, the domain of the bow. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. My what I call the Molargay bed sitting right there. I'd call it my talisman. I don't want to, intrude on the labels of the actual bow. It's my talisman. Love that thing. It's a fast, beautiful bow. Um, Project Snake bow. I was talking to a guy. He's like, "You make board bows really well. Why don't you make one that looks like it mimics a snake bow?" Sold a bunch of those, and I'll tell you what. You get some of that cloth in. I'm not against that on a board bow. I'm more of a purist when I'm making stave made bows. But you put some of that cloth snake stuff on, it makes it bulletproof, and it's a gorgeous bow, and it does look like a snake bow, especially if you get boards that follow a growth ring more or less. With the cloth, more or less works. It doesn't need to closely follow a growth ring. Then you look at the belly, and it looks like a stave made bow. But I don't call them stave made bows. Even though I guess technically a board is a stave, because back in the day they could have just split the wood and made bias rings bows, which they did. So the grain patterns on a board bow are as authentic as anything. What else? I think I'm done talking now. It's just, this is a wonderful place to start my day instead of just sitting in the couch petting one of my tomcats, dreading going to work. Well, that is all. That's enough. I'll end it with something positive. Love this. I'm going to make, instead of using this bow as a pattern, which I'm going to sinew back this bow. I'm going to heat treat it to get the permanent bend out of it. This is what the permanent bend looks like. Again, it's been strung for a long time. Turn this into a super bow. This will be my test subject. Enough rambling.